Good morning. My name is Jeff Burble. I'm Director of Huntsville Madison County EMA. Kind of want to give you a little update where we're at on the weather event that we're currently involved in. Want to start off with a weather briefing. I'm not going to go into the full briefing, just kind of give you the high points of where we are and at least what has changed since the last briefing. So we plan on warming up above freezing. That will probably start between 10 and 12. Hopefully that will last a few hours. That's the prediction, till about 4 or so. But I think the important thing is after that, this evening, we are still going to be down to sub-freezing temperatures. So that's going to be probably our biggest concern moving forward. With that said, I want to introduce our guests today. We have Mayor Tommy Battle from the City of Huntsville, have Mayor Paul Finley from the City of Madison, and Chairman Mac McCutcheon from the Madison County Commission. With them will be Chris McNeese from Huntsville City Public Works, Sheriff Kevin Turner from the Madison County Sheriff's Office, and Chief Kirk Giles from the City of Huntsville Police Department. So at this point, I will turn it over to Mayor Battle from the City of Huntsville, who will represent the county election officials as a whole.
Thank you, Jeff, and we want to say thank you to Mayor Finley and to Chairman McCutcheon and the team effort that this has all been for everybody. We, as we say, we've been able to be a part of the team, and everybody has really pitched in and made sure that this has been an event that's been safe for our public. As we go through this, as you start talking the team effort, this is kind of like a football game. We're down to the fourth quarter. We're in the last 5 minutes, but we can't take our eye off the game because there's still some very life-threatening and important things that can happen right now. As you go out, be careful for black ice. As we have had, the roads have thawed and have melted, and then we've had our temperatures have gone back down, and will go back down this evening. There'll be some black ice out there as you go out, as you start to get out and get out onto the roads. You'll see those over bridges and in elevated areas, but you'll also see them in your parking lots. So make sure as you go into your parking lots that you find a way that you can get into the stores that you're going to without the slips and falls and everything that will happen. As churches start to look at opening tomorrow, make sure that your parking lot is going to be cleared so that people can get in there, because that's an elderly population. Many times at many churches, they have an elderly segment of their population that will need to be able to get in through their through their parking lots. The schools, we have been in contact with the superintendents. They will be making some decisions tomorrow, probably in tomorrow afternoon time period, and they are looking at some of the same things we're looking at. Can they get their parking lots cleared? Can they get the buses out? Can they make sure that it's safe for everybody to come out? The final thing is that this has been, there's a big thank you to everybody, from our public works to our county commissioners to our people who have made sure that the roads are salted and that we put out, that we've cleared all the roads that we can. Those people have been out, since this began on Thursday evening. They probably have not been home, and they've been working very hard to make sure that all of us are able to be taken care of and all of us are safe. We say thank you to them, and thank you for everything that they have done. Just the final message is be safe out there. Take a little bit more time as you drive those roads. Go a little bit lower speeds. As you go on those lower speeds, make sure that you look out for the elevated sections and for the black ice. Those are the things that will keep our community safe. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Mr. Chris McNeese from Huntsville Public Works.
Thank you, Jeff. Specifically for Public Works, we had crews out this morning, 3 and 4 o'clock, driving the roads, making sure that the large accumulations were removed as best as possible. Black ice is still a topic of concern, so please be careful when you get out on the roads. I do want to thank our crews and the other crews with the county and the state that have just worked tirelessly around the clock to make sure that our infrastructure is clear and safe for the traveling public. We've had crews on the road running the equipment, but there's a crew of people that you don't always mention. It's the one behind the scenes. We have our admin staff. We have the mechanics that came in our fleet department that make sure that keep our equipment on the road working and functioning and removing that material. So big thanks to them for coming in and supporting not just Public Works, but the mechanics and the admin staff that came in and support the other entities as well. And not just a big thanks of appreciation for all of the team behind me, the leaders behind me. They're just doing a wonderful job working together. Our communication was tight. And there's a key component in this. It's not just us working. It's also you, the general public, that really played a key role in this. You really complied with the request to stay off the roads, and we greatly appreciate you for that. That was a key component in us being able to get on the road, remove the accumulated material, and make it a safe environment for the traveling public to come today and the rest of the weekend. So thank you very much for that. But our focus today with Public Works is mainly going to be the entrances into the communities, entrances into the elevated areas like High Mountain, Mount Sharon, Mathis Mountain, Weatherly Heights. Those communities, we're going to address the elevated roadways. We're going to remove and be blading some of that accumulated material that's left over to this morning, and also slinging some salt and some rock on those elevated roadways and the bridges that may, if we have a drop in temperature, may be exposed to icing conditions as well. So we'll be rocking those bridges and getting the elevated roadways. Other than that, I'll turn it back over to Jeff. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Sheriff Kevin Turner from Madison County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Jeff. I'll be real brief. We do not have any road closures formally in the county. We do have issues on bridges that are off the main highways as you go further out in the county. So those of you who do live in the county out in those areas, I think you know how to handle those situations. Just be very cautious. The temperatures are going to drop overnight. The black ice will be there on those bridges, and we have staffing out today monitoring the roads and monitoring those bridges. I do need to echo what Chris McNeese just said about another team member being involved in this. The public, yourself, the cooperation that you give HPD and the cooperation that you give the Sheriff's Office during this event has been major. Having the traffic off the roads has really allowed us and allowed Public Works and allowed the commissioners themselves to do their job. Those of you who live in the county, you know what district you live in. Thank your county commissioner. They have been up since Thursday all the way through today making sure those roads are safe. So you guys give a thank you to your commissioners, and it's been a great event where we have really worked through this, where there's been no major accidents. So thank you.
And now we'll go to Chief Kurt Giles from Huntsville Police Department.
Thanks, sir. So let me reemphasize the fact that Bankhead Parkway is still closed, as well as we just recently had to close the Parkway overpasses, the elevated portion. And with that, bear in mind, we keep emphasizing the part about the barricade. You know, if you see a barricade, do not drive around it. Well, we've had situations where people have actually run over the barricade because they lost control. Now we're having to man that, which is taking resources off our streets. So please pay attention to your driving and where you're going, and evaluate the needs for getting there. We know everybody's getting kind of stir crazy. At the same time, just today is a little deceiving because you see video feed from the media and the roads look good, or you see the sidewalks are starting to clear. But like everybody before me has mentioned, there's black ice out there. There's sections of your sidewalks and so forth that are very slippery. So please be careful when you get out. If you can just bear with us another day, I think you'll see a lot better better chance to get out, maybe tomorrow, depending on how it turns out. So as the sheriff and Chris has already mentioned, I'd be remiss if I didn't stand up here and thank the Sheriff's Department, the County Commission, Public Works, ALDOT, Jeff Birdwell and his team here at EMA. They've done an amazing job pulling all this together. So it's been gratifying working with a group of people like this. So if you would just understand, please heed our message if you would in regards to not getting out, and evaluate your needs for getting out. So thank you very much.
All right, to close out, and again, not to beat a drum to death, but I'm like everybody else. I want to thank this team that has come together and the decisions they've made. You know, all the work that has been put in. Thank you to the media. You've been a big part of us being able to get our message out to our citizens. And then again, I think sometimes you underestimate the importance of the community hearing those messages, following those instructions, and in the end, that helps us help them in the end. So with that, I think we'll go to any questions.
You mentioned black ice and refreezing tonight. Is that really just the main concern you want people to know about?
That's what we're hearing. Anybody?
Jeff, one point people need to be aware of, the in reference to the black ice, keep any elevated area, bridges, but also some of our roads have trees that may have shade for the road. Those areas will continue to be very hazardous too. And I know in driving around the county, we've got a lot of areas in the rural area where there's a lot of roadways in wooded areas, and they block the sun and they keep them from drying out, and they'll be covered with ice as well. So people need to be very, very careful of that.
And once we transition back over into normal operations, we will have somebody on call and working closely with HPD, as mentioned before. And if there are black ice notifications given, we'll work with them to respond.
Okay. Any other questions?
One more.
Yeah.
If you had to look at where you guys are today, clearing the roads, what's open and what's not open, would you say that you're, I don't want to say proud or impressed by what the effort that's been done all around the county?
From my perspective, yes. I mean, crews got out there, and worked and was very proactive in getting to those areas, especially that you always have problems anyway. Chris, you want to?
I'd be glad to. Absolutely. There's always the hot spots that we're concerned with when we have an event like this that comes into the city limits. We'll pre-treat with some salt in those elevated areas, also rock in the bridges. We try to prepare as best we can for the event that is approaching the city limits of Huntsville, and other entities are as well. The county and the state, they did a fabulous job pre-treating the roads. You saw on the highways where we had a dry snow on the front end, which was predicted, and they prepared accordingly from that forecast. So their infrastructure just did a wonderful job as far as preparing for it, addressing the snow event, and their infrastructure shows it coming out of it this morning. Their infrastructure was clear except for the black ice issues. We're still telling people to be very, very cautious when getting on the road. But yeah, we're very pleased with the outcome of the preparation and the addressing the snow as it came in yesterday morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think to answer your question, the one thing when it comes to, I think a lot of people would compare this to last year's event and this year's event. There's no difference in essence, the preparation, and there's definitely no difference in the effort. I think there's 100% difference in ice. And I think, we all learned right now, and everybody told us it's a matter of where that hits. The good news for us is it didn't hit at the level it did last year, and we were prepared. It's not to say we didn't learn things from last year, but that's the biggest difference. And I think what I always see is the preventative things that our teams are doing when we're not up here, when there's not an event, continue to make a difference. So I'm amazed at our public works teams, at all the folks that are focused on this. You think about here comes the spring and here will come water and a lot of things happening. Those are the guys that are out in the ditches long before that's happening, cleaning those out to make sure water can flow. So there's a lot of people that, we get to stand up here and talk. Those are the folks that I'm just, as a mayor, so proud of and so proud for. So, again, we're glad that this happened. It's finally glad to kind of hit one that you get right, but it doesn't change how hard those guys are working to prepare beforehand, and ice is the biggest difference.
All right, at this point, we'll conclude the press conference. Thank you for coming.